A zombie shouldn't maintain memories, nor should it maintain complex motor skills allowing it to do high jumps. But the ZQN virus doesn't rot the body and turn you into a mindless walker. It rebuilds it. It weaponizes muscle memory and creates a single connected organism with a shared subconscious goal, and that goal is to replace humanity. So today, I'm gonna talk about the biological nightmare of I Am a Hero, a movie adaptation of a manga that largely flew under the radar for mainstream audiences, especially outside of Japan. In the manga, an infection is quietly spreading through the city of Tokyo, but no one understands what it is yet. The city doesn't shut down overnight. People still commute, platforms stay packed, and streets remain busy. Since nothing looks quite wrong yet, everyone keeps moving through the same spaces and following the same daily routines. That's what allows the infection to spread unnoticed. Before we talk about the infection mechanic, let's take a look at what the movie actually shows first. The earliest ZQN cases don't look like zombies or regular infected. They look like people who suddenly stop acting like themselves. In the film, the danger appears in private spaces before it even shows up in the streets. Conversations turn aggressive. Arguments escalate without warning. Familiar people react with the wrong level of force at the wrong time for no clear reason. You see this with the main character Hideo's girlfriend long before the outbreak becomes public. She isn't immediately violent in a cinematic way. She's erratic, unresponsive, and off in a way that's hard to explain until it's too late. The virus shows itself through behavior first, not gore. That's the warning sign ZQN gives you. By the time someone looks infected, the loss of control has already happened. Only after that do the visible changes begin. Veins darken under the skin, faces swell unevenly, eyes take an unnatural glow, speech accelerates in fragments, like thoughts are arriving faster than language can handle. Tremors and spasms follow, but even then, something unsettling remains intact. And just a bit of random trivia about the virus before we continue, the word ZQN isn't a scientific label given in the I Am a Hero universe. The term comes from internet slang borrowed from DQN or Dukyon, a word used for people that are delinquents or idiots. Anyway, I just thought that was kind of cool. Back to it though. One of the most unsettling things the movie shows is that ZQN doesn't wipe people clean, it leaves pieces of their mind behind. Some infected characters repeat the same phrases, gestures, and routines they had before turning. Not because they recognize anyone, and not because they're trying to communicate, but because those actions are hardwired in them through years of repetition. You see it in how some ZQN keep talking long after speech has stopped making sense, or how they continue familiar motions even while attacking you. The effect is disturbing because it blurs the line between person and threat. These infected aren't strangers. They look and sound like someone you knew, but whatever made them human is not in control anymore. What's left is a loop playing over and over, attached to a body that no longer responds to reason. Once the infection progresses, the body stops obeying normal biological priorities. ZQN doesn't rely on the systems that keep humans alive. The virus centers control around the brainstem and basic nerve function. That's why destroying large portions of the head doesn't always stop movement. That means no matter what, they'll keep on relentlessly coming for you. But do you know what won't do that? Today's sponsor, Free Cash. Free Cash is an app where you can earn money by completing offers like trying games, testing apps, and hitting specific milestones. You pick an offer, follow the task, and once you complete the steps, you get rewarded. They also have 4.8 stars on Trustpilot and 250,000 reviews, which is honestly impressive. That's kind of unheard of these days. So here's how it works. You'll see a list of offers. I'm picking the Grand Mafia because I'm a big fan of any kind of game with mobsters. The rewards are easy to get, and the payouts are solid. So if you tap the offers button and scroll down, it shows you exactly what you have to do to earn the rewards. One important thing I should mention is to make sure app tracking is enabled, so Free Cash can track your progress and reward you correctly. If you don't enable it, you can end up doing the work and not getting credit. So make sure it's on. After that, just play and earn. I usually hop on while I'm rendering YouTube videos for the channel, watching TV, or out traveling. You can also see your progress tracked inside Free Cash. You can see how much you've made as well as the rewards you've collected. And just to be 100% transparent, I made a couple of in-app purchases to speed things up. And Free Cash gave me cash back through bonus rewards, which is pretty cool. Alright, now I'm going to cash out here so you can see how it works. There's a bunch of other withdrawal options here as you can see. But today I am going to use PayPal. Just confirm those. And withdraw. And as you can see, it says we'll receive $47.50, which is exactly the amount I got in my PayPal account here. If that all sounds good to you guys and you'd like to try it out, check out the link in my pinned comment or my description, or scan the QR code to try out Free Cash. You'll also get a $5 bonus for the first offer you start. I have a list on my screen of all the countries that the bonus is available in, and depending on your country, the interface might look a little bit different, but the functionality is the same. Alright guys, back to it. So these aren't your stereotypical zombies or infected. As long as the base of the skull remains functional, the body can keep going. Fire is a good way to kill them, because it overwhelms the entire control system at once. Those infected with ZQN, pain and fear no longer regulate behavior. Injury doesn't cause hesitation. The infected definitely don't retreat. They continue until the body physically cannot function anymore. But to be fair, that's like most of the zombies or infected we deal with. But destroying the head and having them be functional is pretty freaking crazy. At the same time, the virus modifies the body to suit its needs. Jaws open beyond natural limits, limbs thicken and reinforce, bones and muscles shift to favor leverage and strength. This isn't like the decay or rot that we're used to seeing in other zombie media. Instead, it's rapid biological mutation. The movie makes it clear that ZQN doesn't reset the body, it repurposes it. When someone turns, they don't lose the physical habits they built over years. Coordination, balance, and timing stay intact. In some cases, they become the most dangerous traits the infected have. The clearest example is the high jump zombie in the movie. Before infection, jumping was his specialty. Afterwards, the same skill became a way to reach places that should have been safe. This is what separates ZQN from most zombie infections. The threat isn't just strength, it's familiarity with movement. The infected don't fight smart, but their body moves in complex ways like it used to move prior to infection. Over time, successful behavior repeats. Stuff like dodging, climbing, and closing distance improves simply because it keeps working. From the outside, it looks like they're learning. From the inside, it's muscle memory being pushed past human limits. As numbers grow, individual behavior gives way to group behavior. ZQN infected begin responding together. Movements align. Vocalizations overlap. Groups react to stimuli as a unit rather than individuals. There's no visible leader and no central figure directing them. Decisions seem distributed like a network responding automatically. In later stages, bodies are treated as interchangeable components. Infected merge together, forming large composite masses or living structures that funnel or trap survivors. These formations aren't random. They solve problems that environments present. The film gives one clear exception to the rules, and it does so through Hiromi. Hiromi is not human, and she's not fully infected either. In the manga, she gets bitten by a baby, and the virus never finishes the transformation process. Visually, she still looks human. She can speak, react, and move with intention, but her body no longer follows normal human limits. She displays extreme strength, shrugs off injuries that should be fatal, and can move through groups of ZQN without triggering attacks. Hiromi's existence is another disturbing part of the ZQN virus. Because it doesn't require death to take control of the body, it can alter strength, pain response, and recognition without fully erasing the person inside. That makes ZQN more flexible than it first appears. The infection isn't a single switch, it's a spectrum. And where someone ends up on the spectrum depends less on resistance and more on how the virus interacts with the body at the moment of exposure. That being said, ZQN doesn't rush towards destruction. It allows the world to remain usable. The roads, buildings, and infrastructure all stay intact. Whatever's behind the virus benefits from continuity rather than ruin. So that's what separates ZQN from most zombie infections. It lets the world keep on running, just without humanity at the center of it anymore. But that quiet continuity creates problems that most apocalypse scenarios never have to deal with. Because when cities still look usable, people hesitate. They wait for confirmation that things are truly bad. Shops remain open for a while. Public transit still moves. Offices still expect people to show up. All of that delays evacuation and concentrates people into dense, familiar spaces where the ZQN virus thrives. Normalcy becomes a trap. The longer the world looks intact, the more dangerous it is. Crowds form around routine rather than safety. People cling to schedules, responsibilities, and social expectations even as behavior around them starts to break down. This is where ZQN causes damage without attacking directly. The virus exploits denial. By the time people accept that something irreversible is happening, they're already surrounded. And that's exactly what we see in the movie. People don't recognize the danger right away. Early symptoms are dismissed as stress. Irritability gets written off as panic. Someone acting strange is treated as overwhelmed and not infected. That hesitation keeps infected individuals inside homes, workplaces, and shelters far longer than they should be. Groups struggle even more, because early on, no one knows when exposure actually turns into loss of control. There's no reliable test, no countdown, no clear line between safe and unsafe. ZQN's incubation time is inconsistent. It can be a few minutes or a few hours. That uncertainty poisons trust. People hesitate to isolate friends or family because they still look normal. By the time the change becomes undeniable, the damage is already done. ZQN doesn't need to break doors down when it can walk through empathy and doubt. If you only watch the movie, the ZQN virus feels like a standard, albeit terrifying plague. It appears, it spreads, it destroys. But if you dig into the source material, the origin isn't just about a disease-jumping species. It suggests something far more calculated. The manga adds just enough detail to make the absence noticeable. There's no patient zero, no single outbreak site, and no clear chain of transmission tying early cases together. ZQN appears in multiple places without a traceable source, which makes it impossible to treat like a normal disease. It also shows no signs of behaving like one. There's no mutation drift, no competing strains, and no visible immune response. The infection presents the same way across different hosts and environments, as if it arrived to Earth already stable. Because of that, some characters and readers interpret ZQN less as a natural mutation and more as something introduced into the world already completed. In other words, the manga hints at non-human origins, possibly extraterrestrial, but never confirms it. There's no reveal and no explanation offered. The story leaves the origin unresolved and moves on, treating ZQN as a condition of the world rather than a mystery to be solved. So let's pull this all together. The ZQN virus isn't terrifying because it kills people. Plenty of fictional viruses already do that. What makes ZQN disturbing is that it keeps people functioning long after they've lost control. It doesn't erase skills, habits, or muscle memory. It takes everything the body learned over a lifetime and runs it without restraint. Familiar movements stay intact, routines repeat, faces and voices remain recognizable even when the person behind them is gone. That's what makes ZQN so dangerous. You're not dealing with decaying bodies or mindless aggression. You're dealing with a human body that still moves correctly, still navigates space, and still behaves in ways that feel familiar, just without judgment, hesitation, or fear. The world doesn't need to collapse for ZQN to succeed. Roads, buildings, and cities stay usable. The systems humans built continue to function. What disappears is the human element that once controlled them. In the end, ZQN isn't about death, it's about replacement. Humanity isn't wiped out in a single moment. It's slowly overwritten, one body at a time, until what's left looks familiar, moves familiar, and no longer belongs to us. Alright guys, if you made it to the end, I appreciate that as always. I personally kept playing Grand Mafia and made it even further. Don't forget to check free cash out by scanning the QR code or by checking the pinned comment or the link in the description. Thanks again guys. And YouTube thinks you'll like this video. If you've already seen it, I've got a playlist of a lot more just like it.